Good day, everyone. Today we're going to discuss patterns of development in writing across disciplines. When we say pattern of development in writing, it means that there is a certain way of writing, which can be a certain structure to be followed or a certain type of texts which you can use, not just in creating a paragraph or developing a paragraph, but even in writing a specific composition or paper or any type of writing. Now, before we proceed with the different patterns or text types or text structures or even types of paragraphs, let us first know what is a paragraph and how are we going to write a paragraph. Now, a paragraph is a collection of related sentences with one main idea. As an independent unit, it is complete in itself. It has its beginning, middle, and end. As a related unit, it is a part of a composition that is combined with other paragraphs to make a larger composition. So it is not right to create an essay with just one paragraph, because in your essay you have different main ideas there. You have used different main ideas, and so you should have separated them into paragraphs. You should have separated them or grouped the sentences that are related or that are containing one main idea. Now, an effective paragraph shows the unity of the sentences used in developing the main idea. A paragraph is made up of a topic sentence, which contains the main idea. It is the type of sentence wherein if you're going to read that sentence, you would say that, this is what the paragraph is all about, or this is what the whole paragraph is trying to say. And then we also have the supporting details. When we say supporting details, those are the sentences or the information that are supporting your main idea or supporting your topic sentence. It can be the facts, examples, or explanations, and so on. And we also have the conclusion or the clinching sentence at the end. Now, knowing what is a paragraph and how to write a paragraph, let us know the different methods or techniques in paragraph development. So you have already encountered this from your EAPP subject or other academic subject, English academic subjects, and we also call them text types or text structures. So we have narration, we have description, we have definition, classification, comparison and contrast, cause and effect, problem solution, and persuasion. Now let's proceed with narration. It gives a written account of an event or story or simply storytelling. The sequence of events is told in chronological order. From the word itself, narration, you are narrating, you are telling a story. Now, a narrative paragraph simply tells what happened and establishes facts. It describes how, when, and where an event or occurrence actually happened. It is the most common type of paragraph development, and it has the following elements. We have settings, the time and place. We have characters. They are the life-giving element of the story, or they are the ones who are creating actions. We also have plot, or the sequence of events. We also have point of view, or the perspective that is being used to tell a story. Now, I didn't include any signal word or signal words for narration because there are different ways, or there are a lot of ways on how you're going to tell a story or to narrate. You can actually use the different signal words that are present with the other text types. You can use it for narration. So there are various ways on how you're going to narrate. But one way of telling a story or narrating is that you can use the words first, then, next, lastly, finally. You can use those kinds of words just to show the sequence of events. But actually, again, there are a lot of ways on how you're going to narrate. Now, let's proceed with description. It gives information of what a person, an object, a place, or a situation is like. From the word self-description, you are describing. A descriptive paragraph has concrete and specific details which are carefully chosen by a writer to paint a picture in the minds of the reader. It appeals to the reader's senses. So you are creating a picture out of words. So you let your readers, if you're the writer, you let your readers feel how it feels, or you let them imagine how it tastes like, how it smells like, how it looks like, whatever you're trying to describe. Now, these are the signal words that you can use for description. If you are a writer, you can use this kind of words to describe some things, or some places, or experience. And if you are also the reader, you can also what do you call this? You can also look on this kind of words. If you are able to read this kind of words wherein you are able to imagine, to know how it tastes like, or to imagine how it feels like, you would say that this paragraph might be a descriptive paragraph, or this text can be a description type of text. But uh, actually, there are a lot of words that you can use. You can search for more adjectives to describe different things. Not because I included them there doesn't mean that those are the only words that you can use as signal words for description. No, you can search for more. Okay, so for sight, we have sparkling. For sound, we have yelp. For smell, we have musty. For touch, we have sticky, and so on. And taste, we have spicy, sweet, etc. Okay? Now let's proceed with definition. It explains a concept, term, or subject. Its main purpose is to tell what something is. So from the word itself, definition, you are defining something or some term. You are giving its meaning. Now, a definition is the main constituent of any dictionary. In developing a paragraph by definition, you should take account on these three things. So you should consider these three things. First one, the term to be defined. Second one, the class to which the term belongs. And the third one, the characteristics that distinguish the term from any other members of its class. So from the first time you could read this meaning of definition or how it is being explained, maybe some of you might be confused for that. But let me give you an example. Okay, so the term owl is being defined there. So let's read. An owl is a bird with a large head, strong talons, and has a nocturnal habit. So three things were considered there. The first one is the term or the word owl, and that is the term being defined. Second one is the bird. It is the class or group where the owl belongs. And lastly, with a large head, strong talons, and has a nocturnal habit, those are the characteristics that distinguish the owl from any other birds. So that's how we're going to do if you're going to define a term or something. Okay? Now, let's proceed with the different types of definitions. We have formal definition and informal definitions. Now, when we say formal definition, the meanings or the definitions are provided in dictionaries. And when we say informal definitions, there are three common informal definitions, which are the operational definitions. When we say operational definitions, the meanings may vary depending on how it is being used. It can be depending on time, place, organization, or people who use that. Okay, for example, the term or the word signal. If the word signal is used in pag-asa or weather forecast, that the word signal might mean the intensity of the typhoon, how strong the typhoon is. But when the word or the term signal is used by the telecommunications company, that might mean how strong the network is or how strong the internet connection is. So the term or the definitions depend on the time, situation, or how it is being used. And that is operational definition. Another type of informal definition is the synonyms. So those are the words that has the same meaning with the term you are defining or you are searching. So for example, you search for the word fast, and then the synonym, one of the synonym of the word fast is quick. Okay? And we also have connotations. When we say connotations, those are the additional definitions or meaning of a certain word. So for example, you search for the word blue. The definition of that might be a color or a particular type or color, but the connotation of the word blue, it can be associated with sadness, sorrow, and so on. So those are informal definitions, operational definitions, synonyms, and connotations. Now, these are the signal words for definition. If you're going to define a term, a specific term, you may use these phrases or these words, such as is defined as, to define, refers to, means as defined, to illustrate. For example, a paragraph refers to the group of sentences that are related to each other and contains a main idea. Next, let's proceed with classification. It groups items into categories to establish a clear distinction between related or similar ideas. From the word itself, classification, you are classifying things, you are categorizing things, you are grouping them into its kind. Now, in a classification paragraph, you tell readers how a collection of items can be sorted into categories. It is an activity of sorting items, which can be people, things, ideas, into categories. For example, you are categorizing food. You may say that foods are classified into 3 categories: the go, grow, and glow foods. So that's classification. You are categorizing them by its kind, or by you're grouping them or dividing them. Now, these are the signal words for classification. You may use the words aspect, areas can be divided, can be classified, and so on and so forth. Now, let's proceed with comparison and contrast. Now, you have to remember that they are 2 different things. When we say comparison, you tell how 2 things are similar. And when you say contrast, you tell how they are different. A comparison and contrast paragraph has a unifying idea or purpose of attempting to weigh decision between 2 ideas or subjects. It must be balanced in such a way that there is an equal amount of information for each subject to avoid bias. So for example, you are comparing Mobile Legends and League of Legends. If ever you're giving an information about League of Legends, you should also giving an equal information about the Mobile Legends, so you would avoid being biased between the 2 if ever you're comparing and contrasting them. Now, these are the signal words for comparing. Again, when we say comparing, you are telling how the 2 objects or things are alike. So for example, let's use the word both. We could say that Lee Min Ho and Park Seo Joon are both handsome. They are both Korean. Next, these are the signal words for contrasting. When we say contrasting, you tell how the 2 objects or things or people are different. So we have the words although, however, whereas, but, despite, on the contrary, and so on. Let's use the word unlike. Let's say, on the face-to-face mode of learning, students were not allowed to use cell phones during their classes. Unlike on the online mode of learning, students have to use their gadgets, cell phones, or even computers during their synchronous classes. So that's an example of contrasting. Now let's proceed with cause and effect. A cause is what makes a particular thing happen, and an effect is what results from a particular situation, activity, or behavior. Now, cause and effect paragraphs are written for the following purposes. It can be to discuss why a certain phenomenon occurs, to discuss the results of a phenomenon, event, feeling, or action. It can be to understand a situation or to solve a problem, to predict an outcome, or just to entertain, or to even persuade. Now, these are the signal words for cause and effect. We have the words for, due to, for this reason, otherwise, etc. So we can use the word due to. Due to pandemic, students were not allowed to go to school. Now let's proceed with problem and solution or problem solution. It is a method of analyzing and writing about a topic by identifying a problem and proposing one or more solutions. So, as the term implies, it presents and identifies a problem and proposes possible solutions. Now, according to Nordquist in 1995, he suggested that this should be the following structure of a problem solution paper. So he divided that into 4 parts. First one is the introduction, second one is the problem paragraph, third one is the solution paragraph, and lastly, the conclusion. Now, these are the signal words for problem solution. We can use the word but, first, second. So this one, this first, second, third, these are applicable if you are explaining or presenting one or more problem or one or more solution. We can also use different terms such as nonetheless, the problem, the solution. Again, not because I have included them here doesn't mean that they are only the signal words for problem solution. You may search for more signal words for that type of text. And not just because you have seen the word but, as a reader, you could not say already that, this word, or sorry, this text that I am reading or this paragraph that I am reading is already a problem solution, just because you have seen the word but. So you still have to analyze the text, the paragraph you are reading, and not just judging them already by those signal words. Okay? Those signal words are just your clues. It will just help you, but it doesn't mean that you really have to depend everything by that signal words. You still have to comprehend what you are reading or what you are writing. Now, last text type is the persuasion. So it intends to convince readers to do or believe in something. I do believe that you have already an idea about persuasion. Now, a persuasive paragraph tries to convince the reader that a particular point of view is worthy of consideration. It wants you to consider both sides of an issue, but it reveals a bias in favor of one side over another. Now, when you are writing a persuasive paragraph, definitely the topic that you are discussing there is a controversial one or a debatable one. And since that topic is debatable, there can be two sides of that. For example, your topic is about death penalty. So you're going to consider both sides. What will do you agree with that or do you disagree with that? What will happen if it will be approved? What will happen if it will not be approved? However, even if you're presenting different sides, as a writer of a persuasive paragraph or text, you still have to reveal your side or your stand. Where do you believe or what is your stand about that particular issue? So you still have to prove, you still have to support your stand for that. And you have, as a writer, you have to make your readers believe in you or take your side. Now, these are the signal words for persuasion. So when you are giving reasons, you can use the words first, second, third. It is applicable when you are giving many reasons. Okay? We also have, when you're answering opposition, you may use the words of course, some may say, and so on. And when you are drawing conclusion or when you are summarizing, you can use these words, not just therefore. There are a lot of words on how you're going to sum up things. So those are the signal words for persuasion, and those are the different text types or text structures or methods or techniques in developing a paragraph. I hope that you have learned a lot from this lesson. Thank you for watching.